And welcome to Faulkner Fixes All. Yeah, we are entering into a new dimension of 1930s skip tooth hub land. We have a lot going on. We're trying to get a hub. It's a whole thing. Okay, I'm going to show you guys the difference between a new departure hub and an unknown hub that I think is an Elgin. It could be a Moro. It's an air-cooled hub that I showed you a few episodes back. Anyway, it's this whole thing to get a back wheel. It's just how it goes when you work on 1930s bikes and you have boxes of unknown parts that don't fit and don't go together. You know how it is. Hey, hopefully everyone's doing good. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for commenting. I haven't had any bad comments yet, man. I mean, knock on plywood. Everybody kind of likes the show. They like to see what's going on. And at the end of this hub video, I'll show you I did finish on the work truck, the 81 Ford F-150. I did finish on the hubcaps and even got the 5th hubcap installed. Because when you got to represent, you can't just drive a rusty old truck. You got to represent, Actually, you can just drive a rusty old truck. Anyway, I had tried to make it look a little better. We got some 1980s hubcaps from a junkyard and cleaned them up. And that was the last video. But at the end of this video, we did complete it. It looks pretty good. I mean, it looks better than it was. Okay, so let's dive right in here. Okay, so this is a new departure hub. Don't look at all this stuff for now. This is the tap, obviously. That's a nice one. Anyway, this area here, this is basically what a new departure hub looks like when you tear it all apart. When you pull it out of the, and here's a really dusty one too. When you pull it out of the hub, it kind of looks like all this business. This is also a new departure hub that has sawdust all over it. We'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, so inside the actual shell, there's 3 little perfectly machined grooves in here that get smaller as they go towards the brake arm, or the other way around. I can't remember. Anyway, there's these, and there's 9 or 10 of these, and they're supposed to have 3 little tabs on them, and they go inside here. And when you put the coaster brake on, actually, I think, oh, I see, yeah, that's right. They start on the brake side, which is this side of the hub, and it gets smaller as they go in. And when you press the brake against the other part, it compresses all these together. And it's not just these. There's little washers that are floating on this like semi-D thing. So it's washer, triple tab, washer, triple tab washer, and it rides inside that special hub. And when it expands, I guess this would be called the expander, when it expands and you kick back to brake, it forces everything up in there, and that's your braking action. And new departure hubs were very weak, even brand new. They're great running hubs. The bearings are wonderful, and the bearing surfaces are really hard, and they're nice, free spinning hubs. But as for braking, you better have a front handbrake, or you better not go down some big hills, okay? All right, rant over. Anyway, so the bearings on these are really good condition, and here's one. This is all one hub that was, I think it was part of this one before I strung it up. And we'll get to this in a minute. But if you look at the bearing surfaces, The races, I don't know if the camera can pick that up. I mean, this is from the 30s, and it's in excellent shape. And in there, too. That's really not bad for something that is almost 90 years old. I'm trying to get some light in there for you. Let's see here. Yeah, you can see it there. And that's not bad, folks. That's 90 years old, approximately, or maybe 80. I'm not sure. You know, that's not bad. That's had some wear. Now, I don't know how long this has been sitting in someone's parts box. I just remember buying a whole bunch of skip tooth hubs back in the day for like 20 bucks, a whole box of them. And this was in one of them. Now, there is some wear. You can feel it here. This is the expander part I was talking about. You can feel it a little bit crunchy. There's a little wear on some of that. You can see it right there, like a little chip right in here. And I'm probably not going to use this one. I have plenty to choose from. But I'll soak it anyway. Yeah, I've got this smaller one here. And this one doesn't really have that chip. Although it doesn't really want to go on that. Well, anyway, I'll find a good one, okay? Don't worry. And I don't have a... I need to make a skip tooth chain whip. It's a piece of metal that has a chain on it. I'll show you a non-skip tooth one, and then you can figure out that that's what I gotta make. So this is a non-skip tooth chain whip, just a cheapy homemade job. And oh, look at that. Here's the J.C. Higgins hub that this would actually work on. You see, you take this little left-hand thread retaining ring off, and then you would take it off right-hand thread, and you put that piece, or you just put the whole hub somewhere. Anyway, you'd heat it up or something. You'd get that off. You'd be able to get that off. Now, I don't have one of these for skip tooth. Isn't that a nice hub? J.C. Higgins. Kind of an air-cooled thing. Anyway, I don't have one of these. I got to make it. All right, so let's get down to business. So this is the internals of a new departure hub, minus the shell that's already strung up. What we're going to do is, I'm not using this on the Aggie's Wolf bike, but I want this hub to put on something else. So we're going to take this all apart. We're going to soak all this in vinegar. That's right, in vinegar. We're going to soak all this in vinegar, wait a day, and undo it all. And by that time, I'll have this hub I'll have it unstrung, and I'll just put this together as a spare new departure hub. Okay, but I'll show you the hub that's going in this hoop once I paint it black. Okay, we're getting there. All right, so let's quickly throw all this. And this is a spare one. This is the left-hand thread retainer for the gear. I'm soaking the spare one just because I want to see how good it cleans up in the vinegar. And we're going to quickly run this tap through these ancient bolts, like right now. We're just going to run it through. Kind of squeaky. And we're going to dip that in vinegar too. Now, what I found out about the vinegar is, if it has to kind of be all the way submerged. Or what happens is, this scummy stuff comes up to the top of the container and creates this weird line. And it makes stuff like that. See, this was sticking up. This was really rusty and greasy, and it came out really nice. But it was sticking up above the line of vinegar. I think it was like, you know, in here like this. And the vinegar was only so high. So if you're soaking parts in vinegar, in my opinion, don't soak them too long, you know, like a day. And don't let stuff sit above where this weird scummy stuff happens. Because the vinegar eats all this rust and it goes to the top, kind of like a weird foamy slag looking stuff. And if you let it sit there, you get this line. Now, I could probably steal all that off, but that's unfortunate. That's probably going to be there. unless I re-soak it or something. Anyway, so try to, if you're doing this, don't do it too long and submerge them all the way. So we're going to try to fit all this in. We already tapped these out. We chased them out. They look pretty good in there. And we're going to fit it in here, and then we're going to pour some vinegar in there. That's right. We're going to pour some vinegar on it. On it. Soak it. Something. Okay, in you go. All right, and all these, I really hope these clean up. Now, there was a problem with one of these, and I'll probably have to get another one off another hub. One of these tabs is broken off. You can see there's only 2 on that, and that's a problem. These have to be perfect. It's the sandwich thing. It's this little flat washer that rides on this, and the other one goes there, and that one goes in the hub. And these have to be perfect. And when you put them in, they're kind of hard to deal with too. But they're all in a line and they go in the hub. And this bearing surface, this is actually a bearing surface right here. We're going to have to clean that up too, but we're going to soak that. So in you go. And in you go. All of these. Actually, this probably doesn't need to be soaked, but we're going to soak it anyway. Hopefully all this will be fitting. This doesn't need to be soaked. And these bearings, you know, they definitely need to be soaked. They're rusty. The cages are rusty. And when coaster brakes don't work, when you have an old coaster brake and you're like, oh, it doesn't coast, it doesn't pedal, it's not doing anything, it's usually this clip right here. And that clip is similar on Bendix also. It's not this same thing, but it looks a little bit like this. It has a spiraled gearing in there, and there is a clip on there, and Bendix has the same thing. And usually that clip, there's just a bunch of hardened grease in there and it won't spin. See, that has to coast, that has to move in there. That little spring has to move on that surface, and if hardened grease prevents it from doing that, the hub does not work correctly. So, you know, we're going to soak that obviously, but always make sure you take that all the way off. Ow. With a screwdriver preferably, and don't fling it across the shop. Make sure you take this completely off and soak and clean that. You don't have to use vinegar. I'm just going to try it this time. There's a lot of rusty stuff in there. You know, we're going to try it this time. We're only going to soak it for like, I don't know, till tomorrow morning or maybe a little longer. And you guys will see the direct result of how awesome the vinegar is. Okay, so we're putting this all in here. And we're going to fill it up with the world's cheapest vinegar. Look, all natural. That's right. It's just, you know, like putrefied wine. It's just white wine that is turned. But it's all natural. Oh, let's shake it up. No, you don't have to shake it. And who really cares? You can use any vinegar you want. You could use some organic vinegar if you really wanted to. You could use the kind you drink a little bit with water for digestion. But we're just going to use this super cheap lemon scent, all natural. All right, so we've got everything above. See, I don't want this scum. I don't want this weird... See how that happened? I don't want that to happen. So it's pretty much above. Everything's above there. And we're just going to soak it in vinegar for like a day. And then we're going to come back to this, and you're going to see all this foam on top. And we're going to take it out and kind of rinse them off and then spray some WD on them and kind of make it so it doesn't keep rusting. This piece I already soaked in vinegar for like 2 days. And it took a lot of stuff off. This was all really rusty, really bad. And this one I soaked too. And it was greasy and rusty, and it did okay. And these, I really love to use these on New Departure, but they're different. Well, that one's kind of ruined in there, actually. Someone chrome plated that like an idiot. But the gear is still really nice. I'll retake this gear off and use it. I'd really like to use this, but... Oh, we gotta take that back out. Oh, bummer. Well, I'll just tell you what's happening here. It's different. Yeah, I'll show you right here. This is New Departure. And you can see the spiral, this area here, there's a good 1/4 inch right there. And that other spiral piece goes on, that locks into the spring clip I was talking about. And these two I have, it keeps going, and that piece won't fit. The New Departure, this might be an earlier model New Departure, I'm not quite sure, or a Moro, but it's different. It will not work with this style New Departure. It's bigger too, it's taller. Oh, it's a good 1/8 inch taller, and it doesn't have that little area here that's machined. It just stops. I don't know the hub this is from. I'm not sure what it's from. I'd really like to use this though, or I could take this one off. Since this is ruined here, I don't know why. What happened in there? You know, like I say, I just bought a bunch of parts in a big box, and this is what you get. But these aren't the style of New Departure that I'm trying to put together. So we'll put them back in the box. And then there's some bigger ones, like this style. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on there. I do know that a skip tooth gear will thread on there. You know, you could thread a gear on there, no problem. But I don't know what that fits. I have no idea. If you know, let me know. And so, okay, so now we're gonna cap this up. That is our New Departure soaking in vinegar video. Here it is. Tomorrow we'll open that up and see how it did. We're not gonna re-soak that because it's kind of clean already. So that's that. And you know what I'm doing with that hub? I'm taking that all apart. I'm gonna bust this out of here, save the spokes, paint the rim black, and put this other hub back on it, and I'll show you the one that I'm going to use. This hub, I don't know what this is. This brake bar was just in my collection. It fits, and I've seen pictures of an Elgin air-cooled hub, and it's similar, but I am not sure. I do not know. It could be a Moro hub, M-O-R-R-O-W, and this brake bar also fits. So I'm not sure what it is. All I know is that I had this hub in a box put together. It was just in a parts box, and these were not on it. I had these separately. So it is a complete hub. And the brakes are completely different from the New Departure. They are superior. And the whole entire hub is actually superior. The way the bearings are made, I think the hardness of the races, the air-cooled part, and the brake area. And I'll show you real quick what's going on. I know this is getting long in the tooth, but people got to know. See, the Elgin one does fit. And the Moro one does fit, but the New Departure does not fit. You could probably make it fit, but it does not fit. It's got that weird half D thing going on. So, you know, I don't know what it is. All I know is it's very superior to New Departure hub, and I'm going to use it. And why it's superior is the main part is this beautifully machined brake action here. It's just kind of like the other one. There is that clip. It's a little bit different style. See, it's this clip here. And it goes on there. And then this piece does ratchet on there. Just like the other one. Hear it? And then this piece. This is the kind of like the expander. When you pedal, this piece goes into the hub and you're pedaling. But when you go back, see it moving? And once it's in the hub, right now I can't really show you because it's out of the hub, but when you crank backwards to brake, it expands these perfectly, beautifully machined brass half C's. And also this little square notch in there grabs that And that also helps it expand that. And see the expansion cone there, the little, do you see the triangle piece? All this is perfectly aligned to have the brakes do brake things. It's kind of like a car almost. They expand, the shoes expand. And it's just much superior than the new departure system. And it's much superior than Bendix. I hate to say it, but that's the way it is. And also, on these particular parts, I mean, look at the machining on this. This is for the inner bearing adjustment. It's a slightly galled, but we're going to have to use it. You can't get the bearing off until you pop some bearings out. You can't get this bearing off of here until you pop about 4 or 5 of them off. And then you can get the cage out. Very precise. There's no way to loose pack this. You can't loose pack it. Not this part of it anyway. And same with this piece. This bearing does not come off until you pop about 5 or 6 out of the cage. There's not enough clearance to get that off. You put it on, you pop the bearings in, and it's forever on there. And just a much superior design. Now, there's another problem I haven't figured out yet on this piece. There's no room. If you popped all those out, the cage still doesn't come out. And this is one piece. I'll show you. It's very perplexing, and I'm having some issues. Anyway, that thread's out. Say it wasn't all stripped. Or I had it in the vise. You get the idea. You would take this all the way off. This is one piece. Maybe it pops out. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, I'm wrong. I was wondering about that. There's a little dust cover here. Okay. Oh, man, I was starting to wonder, actually. This piece comes off, and then you break a few bearings out, and you can get this off and inspect the race. Okay, I was wondering about that. Let's go ahead and do that right now so we can inspect this race. And that looks pretty good. All right, come over here. What are you guys doing? Get over here. All right, so we'll break a few of these out. Probably 4 or 5. Don't worry, they're all the same size. And no, I'm not replacing these bearings. These bearings are way superior to what you would buy. Oh man, that was close. Hey, did you guys see that? We almost had a castaway there. Okay, almost. One more. Yeah, these bearings are all the same size on this hub, and they're just way superior to anything you would pop in here. Okay, so there's a little damage on this. We'll spray it with some WD and we'll look. There's a little chip here. Not too bad though. Yeah, I think we're going to use it. I mean, do we have a choice? I don't have any of these. There's no way I'm going to find this. I don't even know what hub it is. All right, let's check it out. I don't think I could possibly machine one of these either. It's just the way it's going to be. Okay. Yeah, there's a little chippy here. Little action right there, but that's not where the bearing rides. Some dirt must have gotten in there. And there's a little brindling right there. We're going to run it. I'm not chucking this up in the lathe and trying to dress it up or anything. I'd be foolish. And besides, where are you going to find something like that? Where are you possibly going to find something like that? We're going to run it. We're going to clean everything really good, pack it with some really good grease, and we will run this. And the brakes will be beautiful. And those brass things go in there in that machine surface, see? And they expand kind of like a car drum brake. Just way superior. You know, when you have all these plates and triple pronged washers going down into a machine surface, there's a lot of slippage there. I mean, those washers slip against each other, and everything's got to be perfect. And then the hub is also, the way these machined grooves are, they go in towards each other. I mean, it was great, you know, in the 1930, you had a coaster brake, it was a big deal. But they came along with some better stuff, you know. Okay, so the recap is, we are soaking this stuff in vinegar. That's right, put some vinegar on it. It's right here. And we're going to unlace this hub, probably off camera. And then once this hub is off of here, we're going to spray this rim white, or probably black. Yeah, probably black. And that matches this front rim. Not a match, but it's okay. I think I can make it work. It's a hook bead style. And we're going to take this all apart. Probably will use this front hub. It's kind of cool. If it's any good at all. I don't know. I don't know what it says on it. Let's see what it says. Probably new departure. I think it's worn away. I don't know what's on there. Actually, I don't see a stamp on there. Yeah, I don't see anything. We're gonna unstring this one too, and we're gonna paint this one black. It's not an exact match. This one has this little extra groove on it, I think. It's close. We're gonna paint that black, string it back up, get some new spokes. Once this is black with the air-cooled hub, I'll probably be able to use these spokes. Let's see if we can. We'll measure it real quick. Maybe. Looks like it's a little different. I might have to hit Fred up for some spokes. Let's see what we got here. Oh, you know, just roughly it's a 2 1/16. Yeah, what do we got over here? And this one is a, let's see what this one is. No, it's not going to work. I need better spokes. This one's about 2 1/8. Those spokes might work, probably not. There's a slight difference in the diameter of the shells, and I don't think they might work. I kind of doubt it. Spokes are, you know, they have to be pretty close, pretty on there. So, all right, so you guys know what I'm doing. I'm soaking that in vinegar. We're doing some rim magic, and we're gonna make this beautiful. I think it's an Elgin hub. I don't really know what it is, actually. I'll try to do some more research. Could be a Morrow. Could be an Elgin. It could actually be something I've never even heard of. I mean, there's some weird hubs out there. And, you know, New Departure isn't a bad hub. I've got one up here that's all packed up and ready. If I can get it down, I'll spin it for you. Let's see here. Yeah, I got one right here. This one, I actually strung this one up so it would be on a 26 by 1 3/8 non-Schwinn rim. And this is a New Departure from the 30s. And, you know, nothing to write home about, but, you know, the action on these, it's not bad. You know, it rides smooth. It's, the action is nice. It's just the braking. You just don't have much braking, you know? I mean, the bearings themselves, it's been sitting up there a while, guys, sorry. The bearings themselves are really nice. And this is a good rim. I strung this up for a little coaster brake bike. I wouldn't sell this just because it is a New Departure hub and it's strung up on a more modern rim. But man, I remember riding the bike this was on. It was like a Schwinn Traveler of some sort. This might even go back on one of the Travelers. It's a nice hub. The bearings are nice. They're hardened. The races are well hardened. The bearings are superior to anything you can get nowadays. I mean, there's a scale they measure hardness. I think it's called the Rockwell scale. You could put one of these races in a Rockwell tester and it would be well above anything they can make today. I could be wrong. Maybe there's some racers out there that are having some special stuff machined and they know a lot more than me. And it could happen, you know, I'm not an expert. I just know that the quality of the new departure bearings and races is nice. Braking, you better have a caliper brake. Obviously, this rim is set up for a caliper brake for a reason. Okay, folks, well, all that work just to get a back wheel for this thing. Man, what is wrong with me? That's a lot of work. All that work just to get a back wheel for this. And a front wheel, but the front wheel's kind of easier than all this business. It's a whole thing. Anyway, if you need a Moro brake bar, let me know. I have plenty. I have some of these over here too. If you need a Jaguar Mark IV, oops, brake bar. I have a lot of these too in really good shape. Schwinn approved. Different script on that one. Look at that. Huh, that's stamped. I didn't know that was different. I have 4 of these. If you really need one, let me know. You know, I'll never use them all. And I only have a few Schwinn Corvettes, and they're already set up in 3-speed. I think this was on the Coaster Brake model. Oh, that's different. Look. That actually would fit a new departure. Oh, no, it's a little bigger. Look at that. It's a little bigger. That Schwinn approved bar will not fit new departure. It's too big. That's a hub. See, that's the hub I don't know about. I don't know what that fits. I know these fit. I've seen these on Coaster Brake 3-speeds of like on older Corvettes, Schwinn Corvettes. Okay, well, yeah, all that work just to get a bike with a back seat, with a back rim, and a Don Garlits seat. Hey, thanks for tuning in, and the channel is really starting to kick off. Think about subscribing, and if this stuff is interesting to you, it's interesting to me, and I'm going to keep doing it, so you just got to deal with it. Hey, keep the good vibes going. We'll get through all this. Just keep working on your old stuff. This is what you do to get through the crazy times right now. Go out in your shop, put your bike upside down or on a stand, and make sure it works good. Because someday, pretty soon, that's what you'll have to get around on. Hey, have a good day, man. Take it easy. Oh, yeah, there's a video coming up right after this. Me boasting how great I am about getting some 43-year-old hubcaps for my work truck. Yeah, great. Okay, see you later. Hey, welcome to Falcon Fixes All. Yeah, we followed through with this. We got them on the other side here. This is like a day later, but you know, they're there. And we nipped off that little holder, and we now have a 5th hubcap. It has a small dent in it, but hey, it's for the spare. We're okay. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Thought I'd at least show you guys. It turned out pretty well. Thought I'd at least show you before it got dark out here. We're gonna go in and I think the video before this will be me working on 1930s bicycle hubs, which everybody should know something about. It's very important. So this will be at the tail end of that video, just because I wanted to show we did finish this, following through. And you know, when you have the 5th hubcap, that means you have arrived. You know, you pull up to people with that 5th hubcap, and you can ask for some Grey Poupon mustard, you know. Actually, there's an old thing behind that. If somebody's trying to steal your spare tire, I know it's ghetto, but you know, when you lived in the Bay Area and you had trucks there, you try to keep your spare locked up. Anyway, so the thing behind this is they have to have a screwdriver and a lug wrench, because you got to pop the hubcap, and then there's a bolt there that's the same size as a lug wrench. Yeah, if someone's trying to steal your spare tire, they probably have a lug wrench and a screwdriver anyway. Just kind of keeps it more secure. Plus, you know, if someone pops the hubcap off, they don't know if there's a lock under there or something, you know. And those are definitely not some old bicycle handlebars underneath there as part of the rack. Yeah. Yeah. So that isn't any bike parts welded up there. Yeah. Okay, so let's go in, and this video will be on the tail end of the. I'm going to work on some Elgin and some new departure hubs. Okay. See you guys in it. Well, this will be. Yeah, it's like doodly-doo. Doodly-doo. It's all time machine. This will be at the back end. Okay.